Welcome to the Inside97 podcast.
Welcome in to Inside 97. My name is Will. I'm an implementation specialist here at 97 Display, and we're super excited to begin this podcast series with you. It's going to come out the first and third Friday of every month, so be sure to check the Inside group on Facebook to make sure that you get all these posts. We're going to have these posted to YouTube on unlisted videos, so you can feel free to access them at any time. You can refer to any older video if you want to see one of our conversations that I have with one of our staff or another client down the road. But we're super excited to kick this off with you guys this week and begin this moving forward for sure. What we're going to do this week for our first Inside 97 podcast is we're going to focus on some of our new features, especially the booking calendar. We're super excited about the booking calendar. Essentially, if you haven't heard about the functionality of that yet, it's a way to set up an extension of your members only section, and you can have your students basically create a login through that members only section and book classes, whether you have to have limited class sizes because of everything going on with the pandemic, whether you just are looking to have a regular booking calendar. Our booking calendar can be a solution for you. It was free up until August, and you can actually find out how you can potentially win a chance to have that free for the rest of the year. You just stay tuned for that, and we'll certainly touch on that. But the booking calendar, I'm actually going to have one of our members of our support team, Megan, on with us in a little bit, and we're going to walk through that booking calendar, go over some of the functionalities of it, go over some of the individual things you can change and edit within that. Also give you a full walkthrough of how to create it and how to send out a link to your members so that they can learn how to not only sign up for the members only section, but then book a class to reserve their spot as well. Also in this podcast, what we're going to be doing is touch on some upcoming releases. Every week, every Wednesday, we come out with new releases, some more minor, some bigger releases, each and every week. But we're going to roughly touch on, a few of the bigger ones that we have coming up. They're not, in the immediate pipeline in the next week or two, but they are long-term visions that we have for the coming months. One of those first things is new themes. Obviously, we have plenty of themes for you to choose from if you're on a theme that you've been on for a while and you want to mix it up. We do recommend changing your theme up, every 6 months or so, just to have some variety and update that content on your site. We have themes that are not premium, and we also offer premium themes. Premium themes do only something we can definitely set up for you. It comes with a one-time $100 setup fee to get you set up on whether it's Cali, Buffalo, Bengal, any of those premium themes. We'll be more than happy to help you out. If you have any questions, you can either contact myself, your build specialist, or support, and they can definitely point you in the right direction for those premium themes. Now, we do have themes in development. Can't give away too much with those, but we are working on some things with those themes in particular that are already enhancing some things in place. And also, we have some really exciting new features that are going to be featured with those new themes, and we can't wait to share those with you in the coming months. And something that is also in development, again, a long-term goal that we have planned over the next several months. Is something that you may have heard of that we've been working on for a while to this point, is our app. Our app is in development. Obviously our site is, able to, be mobile friendly, things like that. So you can't pull it up on your phone already, but we're going to take it to the next level with an app to where you can easily follow up with leads, really gain any information you need to from the app directly, rather than having to use the browser. You can directly go in the app, get lead information. Is really going to be what it's geared to. Obviously, that's the number one thing, right? Is getting that information as easy as possible in your hands. So that app is going to do a great job of kind of delivering you that information right up front, so that you have an easy access to anything you would need. And I mentioned our giveaway. What we're going to do for our giveaway this week, it's super exciting. What we're going to do with that booking calendar is we are going to give it away to one of you for free until the end of 2020. So that's $100 value, because starting in August, it was $20 a month. So what we're going to do is we're going to give it to one of you for the rest of the year for free. All you have to do is comment hashtag Inside97 on this video in the Facebook group for your chance to win. We're going to have a random drawing for that winner, and that winner will be announced in the Facebook group on August 14th. So you have until August 14th to obviously watch this, comment that, and we'll get you set. Now, speaking of that booking calendar, what we're going to do now is we're going to have a conversation with one of our support team members, Megan, and we're going to dive a little bit deeper into that functionality of that booking calendar so you can learn a little bit more about that and see if you're interested in adding it to your site. Welcome back. I'm joined by Megan Wilson. She's a part of our support team, and she's great. She actually spearheaded the campaign to get the scheduler added. So she's the best resource for all things scheduler related, and I appreciate you joining me, Megan.
No problem. Thanks for having me, Will.
Yeah, absolutely. Who better to get than the head of the scheduler department, essentially, to get us up and rolling today. So I definitely appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely. And so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of walk through the scheduler, and we're going to see all of the things that we can do within it, how to add a certain class, how to make sure that your members can enroll for it. And you're going to kind of just take a step-by-step on, if I'm a school owner, how to set this up and how to get it up and rolling from day one after it's activated in my account.
Yeah, you got it. So I will say you would need to first contact a member of the 97 Display support team or your build person just to let them know that you are interested in activating the scheduler. From there, though, to keep it, up to date, make changes, get it started, things like that. That's all up to you guys. You're more than welcome to add as many classes as you like, things like that. So once that person at 97 Display has let you know that you're good to go, what you're going to do is you are going to log into the CRM. You're going to have the dashboard, basically how it is right here. So you're going to go to Website Manager, and then after that booking calendar has been added, you're then going to have this booking tab right here, the booking calendar button. So you're going to click here. And from within here, this is where you will come to add all of those events. So you can add recurring events. So what you're going to do is, let's say that you have a class at 12 o'clock every Tuesday. So what you can do is you can double click right here on 12 p.m. on Tuesdays. Let's say it's a kickboxing class. So you are going to do kickboxing, and you can do the start time at 12, the end time at 12:30. You can, if it's an all-day event, you can certainly add that, kind of like a Google Calendar. They give you that option as well, and then repeat every. So for most of these class times, what I've mostly been seeing is, once every week. And then this is for however many times. Now, a lot of people, their calendar never really changes. And so we are looking to make it so that this can occur indefinitely. Currently, that's not the case. So what I would do is I would have it go through like the end of the year. So what I've been telling a lot of clients to do is to put it at about 20 weeks, something to that extent. And then slots. So this is obviously so important right now, kind of living in a post-COVID world, or, depending on what state you live in, it is still pretty active. So slots is so important because we want you to be able to cap your classes. Even though without coronavirus, even before then, a lot of people, don't feel comfortable teaching a class of 15 or more, things like that. So this way, after you fill those slots, that class time is going to come down and it won't be eligible for any more of your members to book. So for the sake of this, the tutorial, we'll just put the slots at 10. And then we'll check it active, and we're going to hit save. All right, so now your class has been added. So now what I'm going to do is, let's say that this is your 97 Display website. So let's say that now, rather than being the business owner, I'm now going to act as your member. So I'm looking to actually be able to book my class. So it goes through the members only section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on members only, and you're going to have a tab up here that says book your class. And so once you click here, then your classes will come up. Notice they all look the same. Obviously, I only added that one class and I repeated it 20 times. if you do have, 13 different classes every week, it's not going to look quite as repetitive as this does. But what you'll do is you can come in here and go to the very next class, click reserve. And so we'll just put my name in here. And then hit reserve. So I just registered for the July 21st class. So the really cool thing is you can also see who is coming to each class. So once again, now I'm going back to the CRM and seeing how you guys will be doing this as school owners. But what I'll do is go to the next week, click on this class. I may actually need to refresh. But you'll be able to come to this class and see, who all is registered for this week's class, who all is registered for next week's class, so that you can see just how many spots you have available. So I'm going to double click here, or actually click, let's see here, click the attendees right there. And you can see that Megan Wilson is the one that registered, when the class time that I registered for, the notes that they put in, and the day that I actually registered for that class. So in a nutshell, that's pretty much how it works step by step for, you as the school owner, the business owner, and the member who's actually going in to claim their time.
That's awesome. And essentially, once a class gets full, it drops off the ability for somebody to overbook, right? It'll drop off that schedule.
Correct. It'll just completely go off.
Gotcha. So you make sure that you're, keeping at that cap rather than having somebody sign up for something there's really not any space for.
Exactly.
And the other thing that kind of, when you were walking through the way that you set up that schedule, it kind of made me think, obviously, as a school owner, if there's something that you want in this scheduler, request it through support, request it through your build consultant, because we have these weekly updates and we can speak to our R&D department about getting features built in. So like Megan said, right now, because this is a new feature, there's currently some limitations to an extent of having multiple classes on certain days. And if you don't have something like Megan said, where a schedule is consistent all the time, which is the case for some people, but some people have alternating days, which is totally fine, and we're looking long term to come up with a solution. If you're part of the group that is affected by that, not being able to customize it, let us know and we will dive into it deeper so that we can make sure that we can get that feature added for you, because we'll certainly have the capability to do it.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, obviously here at 97 Display, we love feedback in general from our clients, but particularly with these brand new features, if it's not something that it's going to, actually work for you in your business, please send us the feedback that would make it useful for you and your business.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's something that a lot of people, they'll hear, well, I'll talk to my R&D department, and it just kind of gets lost in the shuffle. I can safely say that's not the case here.
Yes.
At 97, we have a really close relationship, support and build from that perspective with R&D to make these changes happen. So your voice will be heard, and in those meetings with R&D, we'll be fighting for that voice to be heard, to get features added for you.
Exactly. Yes, absolutely.
A few other things that I wanted to touch on about the scheduler in particular. Say that you're just adding the schedule, you have a whole bunch of members. As a school owner, do I need to enter those in manually? Do I need to have other people sign up and create logins for themselves? How would I go about making sure that all of my students or clients are accounted for?
Yeah, so there's really a few different options there. You can make it so that you upload a massive CSV file, and it will create logins for each of your students. And we are actually working on it, making it so that each time a login is created, that student is automatically emailed with their login. That's not the case quite yet, but we are towards the end of developing that to where that will be the case. So that is one option. Another option is we can create you a customized link to send to all of your members, and they can create their own logins. So that's another option. And then the last option is how you saw me do that scheduler just a second ago. That actually is for a person who just has one member login. So what that would mean is, you can keep your login pretty generic, something at like student@karateschool.com, password 123, something like that, just so that it's not a lot for your students to keep up with. It's not a lot for you to keep up with. You can do it that way. And so that is when we would toggle on that first name and last name, so that we at least can look in there and see that person's first and last name that is registered. So we recommend that you have a login for each individual person, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that way.
Gotcha. And it's kind of an easy process to go. If they do it one by one, and they enter it, you just approve it and go from there, and you can deactivate it if they are no
Exactly.
longer a member, don't need access to it. And
Yes.
then, if you have the universal login, you can change the password, every few months to stop old members from, having access to it. There's a couple of ways around that where you can basically have it so the people that are supposed to have access to it have access to it, and somebody isn't mooching off of something they're no longer paying for. So
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And so the only time that I would highly recommend that you have an individual login for each and every person is if you do keep very private information, in your members only page, which isn't a ton of people, but some, school owners really want to keep their, video footage, not necessarily for just anyone to be able to get to or old members able to get to, which is totally understandable. That is when you would definitely want to have someone have their own login each and every time so that you can very easily go in there and deactivate them.
it's a good thing to keep in mind too. If you have access to the booking calendar, you're going to have access to that members only content. So,
Exactly.
the members only section is something that, we've had for a while. We've really enhanced it with this booking calendar. But it is something that's, entirely free. The members only section itself, you can just ask if you want that added to your site. If you don't have that already as kind of a ground layer for this members only section, to have the members only section, you do have to have a members only, or to have the booking calendar, you do have to have the members only section added as well, since they're kind
Correct.
of one and the same. The booking calendar is extra, the members only section is included. So
Yep.
we can definitely set that up for you and go from there. And something else, kind of walking through how to schedule those classes, Megan. When you showed the scheduler, is there a way that you can have multiple classes for the same time? So say I have a 3 o'clock kickboxing class and a 3 o'clock boot camp. Is the scheduler going to restrict me to having one class for that 3 o'clock, or can I make multiple classes for one time?
Nope, you can make multiple classes for one time. So this especially comes into play when, some people have certain instructors that work at the same time. And so maybe one instructor is doing a BJJ class and one instructor is doing a kickboxing class. You can absolutely have both of those listed in your scheduler at the exact same time. You would just create separate entries for each of them. So how I went in, and created a separate entry for each of the kickboxing classes that I just created. So what I would do is I would just also click on 12 o'clock again, double click there, and create a whole new class.
Awesome. And there's really a lot of different functionality that you can do within this scheduler. Just being in Build, I've seen a lot of different ways, whether it's group classes and capping it at 20. If you have one person, you're a personal trainer and you're only doing one, you can do this to create your time slots, to create a schedule, and you just cap it at one. So you can have people book their times and when you need to show up for their one-on-one. And then it can go all the way up to, how many classes, people in a group class that you need. So there's, really a lot of functionality that you can use just for making sure that people book their time and who and when they're going to be there.
Exactly. Yes. So it's
um,
a really good way to just pull up and see, what kind of the day that you've got ahead of you, who's coming to what, and just keep a really good Rolodex there.
yeah, absolutely. Kind of, we've made a huge push for the scheduler. It's a great thing that we've added. I hope that the people watching this in the insider group are really excited about it, as excited about it as we are. Honestly, the big picture, obviously, we want to have a lot of these features that we have kind of intertwine. What features can I have in place on my website, or that we're building out on our website, can enhance or be enhanced by having this scheduler added to my site?
Yeah, great question. So we really like to build things that are kind of linked together. We really want to be your full marketing suite here at 97 Display. So obviously, that's why we had the scheduler built actually into your members only section, because that's such a useful tool to have on your site. And so the other things that I would say is we are looking to create an app in the very near future, releasing pretty soon. And so that will make it so that just from your mobile device, you can log into your 97 Display site and actually update your scheduler from there, from your mobile device, see who is coming to the next class, things like that. And so that is one thing. There will be push notifications, just kind of the next level there to keep up with your scheduler. Also, we do have some email marketing campaigns. And so that is more for what we currently have is more for prospects and keeping up with your leads and nurturing them accordingly. But we also have a email system called Client Keeper. And so it will send a couple of blasts per month to your members. And so for something like that, every time that you send out a newsletter blast for upcoming events or just typical announcements, things like that, you could also always include the link to your scheduler so that people can go in and book their upcoming classes, just to keep your members as engaged as possible. Again, living in this post-COVID world, keeping your members and retaining them and making them feel important and keeping them engaged has never been more important than it is right now. So getting that link out there as much as possible and encouraging people to book their class times and get them in the door is going to be crucial. That's another thing. And then also even something, like ads and landing pages, which kind of go hand in hand. That is something where you could push, seamless booking or, limited, limited spots available, things like that to, keep people knowing that they are safe if they come to you. It's not going to be a class of 50 people. It's only going to be a class of 8 people, whatever your, limitations may be there. But that's another thing, is that they can get that self-assurance by going in there, seeing the slots that are available at the very beginning and seeing that it cuts off. So really and truly, so many tools can go together with this scheduler.
And that's key. Like you said, we try to intertwine just about everything that we can, and having this booking calendar can really cover a lot of different respects of what's going on. I mean, you touched on it a little bit, whether it's having to have your class size limited because obviously what's going on in the world, or you just generally want a way and you don't have a current solution in place to be able to keep track of, who's showing up when for what.
Exactly.
This is a very straightforward way to streamline that process directly into your website. So
Yep.
that's a great point. Well, I do want to say, obviously, you touched on it a little bit with the app, kind of as a long-term play of something we're working on. This is obviously, speaking of intertwining that, the features and everything towards that app. Long-term, we are looking to build this into that. Obviously, keeping up with leads is going to be crucial on the app. Text Connect, a feature we already have. We haven't touched on much today, but it is something that you can get added that we're going to build out through that app. Text communication through our CRM to your clients that would get an auto respond text when they get that, when they fill out their lead information. Long term, that's a play to have built out in the app to be able to text them directly from it. So really, between Text Connect, Scheduler, keeping up with leads in general on that app as a long term is, certainly one of our goals. And having the schedule already in place going into that, was a huge goal of ours. So we're happy to be able to, deliver that ahead of time. And I wanted to mention, I mentioned it earlier in the podcast, but I did want to mention our giveaway. We are doing a giveaway to have this scheduler for free for the rest of 2020. So, at the beginning of August, we set it so that it's $20 a month. But starting this month moving forward, if you win this giveaway, you will have it until the start of next year for free. It's a $100 value there, $20 a month, 5 months. You're going to get it for free. All you have to do, go into on Facebook where this is posted, just comment underneath the video, hashtag N97, Inside97, and we're going to randomly select a winner, whoever posts Inside97 in there. And then at that random drawing, we're going to have that random drawing. The winner will be posted inside that Facebook group, inside the 97 Display Insiders Facebook group. That will be posted on August 14th. So you have a week after this is posted to go ahead, use hashtag Inside97 on that video underneath, and we'll have that selected for you on the 14th to see who gets that scheduler. Megan, I definitely appreciate you taking the time. It was really informative. I think, a lot of people are going to get as excited about this as we are, and I appreciate you taking the time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Will.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for joining us, for watching. And, we'll be back up and running. The next podcast comes out on the 21st, and we'll see you then.